Guido coming at you with a tactics talk, and welcome back. I have Squashballs on this episode. I'm leaving that in. I don't actually have Squashballs. This is Squashballs, though, from Cartel. He's platooned with his Su 100M1, a 122-44, and he in his Type 62 Scout. So 2 TDs in the Scout. Maybe they're working on missions. Maybe they're just having a good old time, and they actually will on this game. Squash is going to come to a bush that I was not really aware of. Watch where he goes right here. I think I'm going to have to test this out with my scouts. Not a bad spot. I've seen people troll around and surf this spot, but I've never seen them get in there. Good news is there's nobody close enough to spot him, this poor T-25. Turns out he's alone and unafraid, trying to get across there. Highlights himself on that ridge, doesn't dive down soon enough, gets tracked, gets hit multiple times, and is alive for a moment and already finishes him off. So clearly they did not send any counter scouts up to this little middle area here, and there's nobody in the town spotting Squash. Bit dangerous sitting there shooting, but he did not get spotted, and right off the bat he's got 300 damage and 300 spotting. And the Su 152 is, I don't know what he's doing, has decided to take on the entire enemy team on his own. And as that usually goes, it went poorly. Got a Scorpion up top, down the 152 goes. Not much going on over on the east side of the map where Squash is. Got a CDC, KB3, a couple other mediums back in the back. So Squash is going to come up and start looking for enemy tanks. But if you look over on the west side, there is a big stack up of tanks over there. Now this is interesting, this map here, Murovanka. If nobody goes over here, it is very tempting to come around on the flank and sweep them up. Let's watch him work this T-34 Bravo first before I talk about it. He takes hits. T-34B does not turn very well, and pretty quickly Squash gets in there and starts to circle this guy, and he has a lot of trouble getting his gun on. Initially, he's driving and turning. Looks like he gets tracked. Then he starts just spinning his hull and turning his turret, but even with that, the 34B is very slow. I'd have just stood off from him. Maybe you're trying to disincentivize the artillery from shooting at you. But nice job getting him down. Where's the arty? I expected you to get any moment. The shot actually goes in there. If you heard it, there was a shot in there at him. So anyway, back to this flank, which is what we're doing here. It's not very easy to push from this side, and it is very much swept by fire from their guys on the hill and any people that are hiding down there in the trees. So you've got to be careful as you move forward, and the way Squash is doing it is the right way, using these bushes, just trying to find some targets to take a shot at, staying hidden if at all possible. We got a Tiger P droning around in the middle. Got him tracked. Man, I'd have aimed for his turret. I'd have lifted that Pipper just a little bit. You're going to get one there, but I think it went high and got into his turret. This next one's going to bounce off his lower hold more than likely. He's shifting around a little bit. Shifted over to heat and then back to AP. So nice management on the shells. We've got a Bat Chat sitting there with his thumb up his arse. And he starts to move finally. Another shot in there that misses. And now we've got a decision to make. What do we do? As usual with a game on Murvanka where they stack up the west side heavily, they're starting to attrit and win over there. And your flankers need to take advantage of the flank, but avoid getting wrecked as they try to run in. And for the moment, that's going pretty well. Squash takes down the T-29, who loses his mind and drives across the middle. But now they've got a bit of a hairy situation. They've got to dig artillery, TDs, and a couple scouts and mediums are sitting back and looking to spot out of this corner of the map. And this is one of the maps that is easier to defend from. In general, if you get a loss of map control like they have right here, it's a bit of a massacre. But because of how this map is made, it's pretty easy to defend. Now, in general, the attackers always have an advantage, but on this particular map, and the tanks that Squash's team had over there on the northwest probably got beat up a bit as they're facing more numbers and are not interested in being any kind of aggressive. In addition, there's 2 artillery, so getting spotted right now is not a good idea. Lots of low hit point tanks. So we got both teams being kind of careful. And all of a sudden, Squash finds a good number of their guys right here in the corner. Trying to decide which one to go after. I think that was the right decision. Just get rid of him first so he doesn't bush up and become a problem. T20 gets hit. Yeah, you were so close you're going to be seen. And right now you're just hoping that artillery doesn't nuke you. Or one of these guys over here, which is also a problem. The good news is they're a little bit busy. I'm surprised an artillery shell didn't drop on you right here. I might have taken that shot as he ran across. And now we're going to move in. Now that bat chat's going to become an issue a little while later. Squash, I really think I would have turned back around and tried to find a way between you and the WZ to get rid of that bat chat, who's now investigating a seam in your lines right there. He's going to end up behind you. But you end up finding an artillery who blasts you at point blank. Of course, they've got another one. Somebody shoots in there. You're just lucky that they missed you. Down goes that guy. You find the next one, and of course, that's my luck as well. The dude is reloaded. So we move in here on the 53, 55, and this is a real sticky situation. Now you can see that bat chat has come up around behind you. He's working over the WZ. We get rid of the artillery, that's important, and then this WT, Tier 9 TD, comes charging in. Well, he's got a turret, so he's problematic. He survived here a lot longer than I thought you might have. Little auto aim action, you put a shell on him. Trying to jink and jive a little bit. I'm not sure what he shot at. He might not even be spotted right there, to be quite honest. This guy seems to have issues getting his gun online on you. I'm not really sure if he's got a bad connection or just not a great player. That was a nice... I think he was trying to time your move right there. I loved it, right? You completely juked that guy. Looks like you kind of realize, hey, I'm being surrounded, so you just go in and see what you can do with the WT. Nice job there. We just chased this guy around, and unfortunately, that last shot bounces naturally. Why wouldn't it? And we end up dying. So this is an over 5,000 damage game. I think there was a blind shot in there. 2,975. They end up winning this game. Nice job there, Squash. Interesting bush use at the beginning there. I might have to investigate that central area. Seems a bit dangerous, especially if they counter scout. You're going to have to be ready to get out of there. I've also seen scouts get just wiped out who run around in that middle spot. So that's a high risk, high reward kind of spot initially, but not bad at all. Seeing that the whole flank was down, coming around, working on the enemy team's flank, I think maybe I'd have fallen back on the Batchat 25T and see if I could handle him with the WZ. Obviously, you alone, he was going to eat your lunch, so that may have been part of the calculus, getting in there and taking out the artillery, which was important for the win later on. All right, man, thanks for sending that in. Appreciate it. For everybody else, thanks for your support, and we will see ya.